lot of people checked out during COVID and just did not check back in. And it's just disappointing because we have so much potential as humans, bro. Hello cuties, welcome back, and if you are new here, then hi, I'm Shavion, and we're just gonna dive right in. Death. A word with so much depth, no one dares to stare into the face of it because all you see is your own reflection. Yet, it's something that has to be included in every TV show and movie, or else it just wouldn't hit the same. It's the topic of some of the most moving works of art, whether that be paintings, music, or poetry. And still, when someone mentions it around us, we feel small, we shrink, we pretend they didn't say the word at all. Sorry for your loss is all we can seem to get out, followed by an awkward smile. The funny thing about running away from things is you keep turning around so that it won't sneak up on you, but then bam, at full speed, you smack right into it in front of you. That's how these corporations that cosplay Having a Heart has us living, a constant state of denial, flowing through every action that we take. As a kid, I was always in awe of death. I saw it as nothingness while life was everything, the yin and the yang, the blinding light and the hypnotic dark. My mom would always tell me to hold my friends close and tell them how much you love them plenty, because you'll never know when that darkness will decide to swallow us whole. And that I did. I was finishing up All About Love by Bell Hooks, and she started talking about how we live in a culture that worships death around chapter 15, so consumed by capitalism that we forget the best thing to possess is love. She writes, "Love empowers us to live fully and die well. Death becomes then not an end to life, but a part of living." And it got me thinking about how we allow death to control our lives. How death is what literally keeps the system running that rules the world. You see, we live on an organism that has everything that we need, not just to live, but to love. Truly, I don't think things like shrooms and flowers would be here if we were simply made for survival. But unfortunately, corporations are the ones who possess control of our natural resources and humanity as a whole. If you think that's me being dramatic, then I think you need to become more aware of how big corporations move. If you did, you will see how much of their money flows into our politicians and media giants. Media giants who then censor creatives to speak narratives of buying this and that to be like them, which we receive as the answers to getting closer to happiness, to feel more alive. But humanity was never what they were selling to begin with. When a culture worships death instead of life, by creating groups that glorify the afterlife, by prioritizing profit over people, and by putting survival above all else, we create a life that feels like a prison. But if we choose to see death as a part of life, we can begin to reclaim our freedom and live in alignment with our humanity. And this is what I want to take a closer look at in today's video.
On the day of the talent show, my mother had a surprise for me. She had bought me the jacket. And even though she didn't know how to say it, I knew this meant that she loved me. Now that's a good story about my mother. It's not true, but it's a good story, right?
Now, I just want to add a disclaimer that I'm not talking down on religion in this section. I was actually a Christian for most of my life. I read the Bible front to back a handful of times and genuinely connect with the word. It's only in the past 3 years have I moved to what's called a free-flowing spiritualist. My issue is with the part of us, religious and non-alike, that treats life as if it's been damned from the start. Truly, I feel like the only group of people who are allowed to feel this way are younger millennials, Gen Z, and the generations after. Because look what a lack of regard for this life has gotten us. We're taught to view the world as a place full of sin that is governed by the enemy, so we simply don't feel the need to participate. And even non-religious people talk about how Earth is already a manifestation of hell that's meant to break you down. A spiritual prison is what a lot of people view life as. How could anyone feel empowered to stand up for change on top of struggling to pay the bills when this is the energy we're living in, an energy dominated by defeat and surrender? And then historically, asking questions has seemed to either get you beheaded or jailed. So why would we start now? The laws don't exist anymore, but their implications still run through our genes. Blend in and you'll survive so that you can make it to a better place after this life. And to add more fuel to the fire, there's also an obsession with selling one's soul for success, which is essentially the death of one's humanity in order to survive. We create hours and hours of theories on how celebrities are dead on the inside. And instead of trying to figure out how we can pour more life into ourselves and the people around us, we try our hardest to be just like them. It just makes me sad, bro. Like, we try so hard to be like these people who literally hate themselves. Like, they aren't even themselves because there's not even much room to be human in this human life because of the systems that we are living under. I feel like celebrities are always crying out for help, and I don't know what type of people they have around them, but it never seems like people who genuinely care about their heart, or else they wouldn't hate themselves so much, or else they wouldn't be like Lil Nas X and walking the dang on streets naked and having everyone like literally just laugh at him and make a meme about it. Like, nobody is thinking to be like, and I'm not going to say no one, but a lot of people, I feel like their first reaction is to laugh and to make memes. And then you have the wave of people that are like, okay, like, are you actually okay? And I truly love seeing that. Like, that gives me hope. That really gives me hope, because it's like, why is our first instinct to ignore the hand that is reaching out because we feel like it's performative, or they're just being dramatic, or they just do too much? I don't know. I just think it's really, really weird how a lot of people are just extremely empty, like they aren't human. They have already died in a way because they just aren't even here. Like, I was just talking about on my Instagram the other day how it feels like a lot of people checked out during COVID and just did not check back in. Like, the levels of bot behavior are just through the freaking roof. Like, please tell me if you are seeing this yourself, or if you feel this way as well. Like, sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm even living with humans anymore. Like, I'm like, because these people can't be real. Like, there is no way that y'all can be real. And I plan on in the next video talking about like just how mean everyone is now, and that's a part of that. Like, and I know like we weren't well before COVID, but it has just made it 10 times worse. Like, if you didn't take that time to actually work on yourself, to connect with God, to connect with nature, to connect with the people that you love, like, you can see it, bro. You can just see it in the way that people act. And it's just disappointing because we have so much potential as humans, bro. As a person, we have so much power. We have so much potential, but we just throw it away because things seem hopeless, because we were born into a hopeless world. But it's like, we don't have to succumb to this environment. We don't have to be molded to fit into this environment. We can mold our environment to fit to us. But I know that's hard to think about, and that's why the world is the way that it is now, because that is how our parents felt, and our grandparents, and our grand. We unfortunately come from people who were dominated by a surrender and defeat mindset, because they didn't know what else that they could do. They didn't feel like they could do anything, or they would be risking their lives, not even realizing that they had already given their life away, which only created this collective dead mindset that a lot of people operate under.
What's that old expression? Fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, fiddle-dee-dee.
Fool me once, shame on you, but teach a man to fool me, and I'll be fooled for the rest of my life.
Fool me once, fool me twice. Fool me chicken soup with rice.
When you start to miss that bright-eyed feeling you had as a kid, you'll know it's time to stop numbing yourself. Now, on the other side of the token of this conversation, we are so desperately terrified of death, we try everything in our power to avoid it. I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but I just remember growing up, I would always hear about how women would lie about their age because people wouldn't want to work with them if they were too old. Like, that is weird. That is weird. And that's why we have all of these anti-aging creams, because you don't want to see a wrinkle. Seeing a wrinkle is probably the worst thing that you could do to somebody. No, you're just aging. You're getting wiser. Like, nobody wants to be an elder these days. We have all of these surgeries that help reverse the process of living, of life, of growing. And I truly do resonate with the old saying that you are what you fear, because the more you try to run away from something, the more it actually starts to control your actions and ultimately guide your life. This fear has consumed the collective so much that we've refused to believe that global warming is real. Like, I remember in school, they were starting to like teach us about climate change and stuff like that. But then I started hearing that it was a hoax and that the planet is always changing and that people just want to stop production. We just seem to cling on to whatever can distract us from reality. I do understand the fear of death 100%. Like, this might make me sound crazy, I don't care, but I used to mourn people before they even passed. Like, if I would fall in love with somebody, or if I would just meet someone new and like they become like very important to me, I would literally spend the first 2 weeks of our relationship mourning them in private, like, because I just wanted to prepare for the day that I wouldn't be able to have them anymore, that I wouldn't be able to see them and feel them and touch them and be with them anymore. And yes, I do have attachment issues, and this was my anxious way of dealing with death. And then also, as someone who has a smidge of control issue, death is one of those things that you simply cannot control. And for me, this was my way of gaining some control over the process, because if I could accept it and feel it in this moment, when the moment actually came up, it wouldn't hit as hard. Which, a very silly way of thinking, I know, but it was just the way that a younger me dealt with the gravity of things. And so I do understand like the wanting to shy away from it. We don't have a lot of skills for holding room for emotions and things that are, you know, in the darker aspects of life, because we want to pretend that we're these optimistic and lively and like I don't understand it though, because it's like we kind of all know that we're not happy. We all know that we're struggling. So why hide away from, like, it stunts our connection with each other. Like, that's all we're doing. It's stunting connection and then putting a wall between each other, a wall of performance. And then on the other side of that wall, all that is happening is the deterioration of the other person. I can't even fuss at the avoidance side of this conversation, because I just so deeply understand it. Like, it's scary. It 100% is scary to think about and sit with. But when we do it together, I feel like it really shifts that vibe, because yes, like, it is something that we have to face alone, but it isn't something that we have to hold alone. But yeah, again, I do completely understand it. I do wish that we had more elders nowadays though, like more people that felt like honored to be old and to be wise and to be someone that the younger generation can like look up to and like really go to for like real deep answers, not just on how to make more money, but how to live fully, how to make more love, how to make more life and abundance and genuine happiness that's not tied to monetary gains. Because yes, money does buy some happiness, it buys stability, it buys freedoms, but it doesn't buy it, you know, it doesn't buy love, it doesn't buy fulfillment. But yeah, I hope we can all begin to embrace life and all of the intimidating things that come with it.
You don't look so hot yourself, Herb.
I have cancer.
I feel like I've always had a pretty neutral relationship with death as a kid. And then growing up, I kind of just realized that death isn't personal. Like, life is not out to get me. Like, it is not trying to take me out. But then they both also are deeply personal, because we come into it alone and we go out of it alone. And we all are having our own individual experience here. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it is happening to all of us, it's happening in different ways. We are all our own little worlds existing at once within this big ass fart that we're living in. And it's beautiful. It's deeply impersonal and personal all at once. And like, I don't know, there's just some beauty to that. Like, I kind of fuck with the way that life flows. Like, it is intimidating to think about, but when you start to just accept and incorporate death into your daily life and being aware of it, I feel like it brings more beauty out. Like, it invites you to live more fully, because I mean, you genuinely never know when this is gonna end. Like, you don't know how much time that you have, so why not act on all the things that I want to see come true? Why not go and climb that goddamn mountain? Even though I'm tired as hell, even though work is draining me, I am going to go hiking on the weekend, because that is my right. That is what it means to be alive. It means making time for the things that I love. It means showing up for myself constantly. It means trying new things. It means taking risks. And I'm gonna do all those things, because when death comes to finally greet me, I want to be like, okay, I did all I could do. I feel like I've knocked it all out. I've done it. And I accept whatever this is, whatever this next thing is. And it's not because I'm trying to be saved in the rapture. And honestly, I'm not one to throw any theory completely out the window. Like, that could very well happen. We could get called up and we've flown into the sky up to heaven. And if that does happen, then I know for a fact I'm gonna be one of those people that will rise up. I know I will be. I genuinely actively try very hard to not succumb to the claws and the grasp and the grip of this profit-loving system that thrives on death. I think it also becomes less scary when we open our eyes and see that death is all around us all the time. Like, I'm not even just talking about like us killing each other, but the death that is in nature, the death in the cycles of life. It's happening in the seasons when we go outside and we start to see the leaves fall off of the trees and the flowers just wither away. And it happens within ourselves as well. I really feel like every 3 to 6 months, I'm like completely shedding a version of myself, or just shedding things in life in general. This year in particular has been such an intense year for me. Like, I've had to let so many things go. Like, I had to even face it sober. I couldn't even smoke this year. I had to go on a tea break. And that was another thing that I had to let go of. Like, that is always high and trying to find relief. Like, I've had to allow that part of me go, and I've had to let go of one of my closest friends that I've known since I was 15 years old, and it was not easy. It was not easy seeing the death of that relationship. You know, in a world full of chaos, letting go of that type of stability was extremely hard for me. Like, I didn't know how I was gonna survive without this person, and it deeply hurt, you know. And for a while I was really covering my grief with anger, because I didn't feel like I even had the time to like grieve this relationship, because it just doesn't feel like life gives you space for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier in the video, like, the type of system in the world that we live in, like, we don't make room for those like darker emotions. We just want to put on this fake facade of like always being okay and everything like always being okay, so that we can avoid what's not okay. No matter how many meditations I did of calling my energy back to myself, I know there's a part of me that will stay with them, that I will never get back. And I just have to accept that and live on. And just even looking back on my life and just realizing how much of myself has like genuinely just died. Like, it's just not there anymore. And I've mourned those parts of myself. It feels really hard to put words to this topic, to be honest, because death is just such an expansive thing. Like, death and life are just both such expansive things, and like trying to like limit it to words, it doesn't do it much justice. Like it's the same with like love. Like I can tell someone how much I love them in a million different ways, but it still doesn't capture the essence of how I truly feel for them, you know what I'm saying, or how they truly make me feel and how I feel when we're together. Like I feel like words will just always fall short in a lot of ways when it comes down to talking about topics like these. But really my main goal of making this video was to invite us to live more fully by accepting the possible end of it, and to not allow that possibility to keep you from the things that you love in fear of it being taken away. If you've ever read The Alchemist, they tell a story where this guy went to seek out this like very popular monk. I forgot if he asked him what's the key to happiness or like what's the purpose of life, but I remember he told him to carry a spoonful of oil around his castle and go see all the things around and then come back to him. And the first time that he returned to the monk, there were still oil in the spoon, but the monk was like, okay, did you see the statues and the paintings that I have? And he was like, no. And he was like, okay, so you didn't listen to me. Go back and do what I said. And then this time he did go and see everything. He saw the gardens, he saw the paintings, he saw the sculptures, but when he came back there was no oil in the spoon. Life is really a balance. It's about holding that spoon of oil full of your different responsibilities and hard truths about life, but it's also about seeing the beauty that is around it. We can do both. You can do both.
Okay, love you. No, I don't.
I really tried my hardest to ground my ideas so that I can make sense in this video, and I don't know if I was successful, per usual. But let me know in the comments if you resonated with anything that I talked about, or if you want to add to the conversation. Leave a comment, please. I would love to read them. If you would like journal prompts and other goodies to help you unpack topics like these, then you can check out the first link in my description, which will lead you to my Ko-fi. You can also become a member of the channel to see unedited videos of me just chatting about different topics. You could also support the channel by simply subscribing. If you made it this far, then comment an orange emoji and a world emoji. You can also check out the description for the audio version of this, my Discord. You can also submit a question to me if you would like. Share the video with someone that you think may enjoy. Remember to like the video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And yes, I love you, cutie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
This is not real. It's just a dream.